Motor Warriors. We're going to go through downtown Jonesborough, just kind of take you through there. There's not a whole lot. They have what's called Jonesborough Days, and they have you know, arts and crafts and stuff. They even have like storytelling events and all that. And storytelling is big here in East Tennessee, and it's so big that East Tennessee State University, back behind us in Johnson City, they actually have, can you dig this? Check this out. I'm telling you the truth, I am. They have a PhD in storytelling. I kid you not. A PhD in storytelling. So you can go to school, people call you doctor, and all it was is a doctorate in storytelling. I'm like, come on, get real, man. That's what I should have done. I love telling stories. I should have gone to school and got my you know, my PhD, you know, post hole digger. I should have got my PhD in storytelling, because I'd be good at it, I think. But anyway, I don't need no PhD to tell a whopper. But anyway, they have a theater. They used to. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's been over 20 years since they've been through Jonesborough, but they had a theater here, and they would have different, you know, storytellers come and tell their stories, and people would actually pay money to go hear them tell a story. And ladies and gentlemen, you can sit here on YouTube and you can watch TennRides and listen to VV King, Veridica's Viking, tell you some stories, and most of them are actually true, unlike the ones that are on the, you know, storytelling things here. But anyway, you get to watch for free. But anyway, this is downtown, and it's not a very big town, but it is Tennessee's oldest city. And many years ago, like what, 30 years ago or something, there was a store up here called the Village Emporium, and it was a nice candy shop, and they made their own homemade fudge and all that. It was really nice. And but the lady died, and the son, he didn't want to keep it going, so it all stopped. And it was kind of sad, because they made really good candy and fudge and stuff. And the East Tennessee Hemp Company, wow. And if it wasn't raining, there's a train up there, in case you're wondering what that noise is. But if it wasn't raining, I'd take you for a walk through here, but it's pouring. I ain't gonna do it. But there's the storytelling hall right there, see that? And then there's some Chester Inn. I thought they condemned this building, but I think they must have restored it. They probably charge $400 a night, but there's an old cabin there, if you can see. You can tell that some of these buildings are pretty old, can't you? See that? It's a quaint little village, I guess you might say. And next time I go for a ride and I end up this way, I might just, hopefully it'll not be raining, and I'll get out and take you for a walk through this stuff and show you the town. I like little towns like this. This one, you know, the people in Jonesborough, some of them are really nice, but some of them are kind of snobby, because they're like, you know, they think, well, it's the oldest, you know, town in in Tennessee. So, you know, they think they're special or something. But any hooty. You can tell there's not a lot here, because on the either side of this main drag, it doesn't go back very far. It's not a very big town. But there's some really nice people that do live here, though. So, you know, I've said that before. If I say that there's snobby people, I don't mean everybody. You know, like when I talk about Chicago and stuff, and how there's a lot of organized crime and people are rude and whatever, I'm not talking about everybody. So if you're from Chicago and you're a nice person, well, then, you know, I'd probably like you just fine, you know. But it's just the only time I've ever had somebody stick a knife up into my back and tell me to get money was in Chicago when I was visiting the Science Museum many years ago. I was just a kid, and some other little kids come up behind there, and I felt something. They were standing behind me. I was looking at some exhibit thing, and I was with my younger brother and my nephew, and I was supposed to be keeping an eye on them, and I was only about 12 or something. And some kid, they come up, and it's like, man, and I felt something sharp sticking up my back. He's like, I want your money. And I'm like, man, I ain't got no money. And then I started calling for my brother-in-law. And when I did, they started to back away, and then they kind of slowly walked away. And then when they saw my brother-in-law's shadow coming around the corner, because they were looking at something else around the corner, when they saw a shadow coming, they took off running. And we went and found a security guy, and he's like, just kids, it's hard to keep them out. He said, that happens sometimes and whatever. Didn't even bother to look for them, didn't do a thing about it. And I thought, man, if Chicago is so full of crime and stuff like that they don't even do anything, well, no wonder why the crime rate's so bad in Chicago. So I have some bad tastes about Chicago. So like I said, if you're from there and you're a nice nice person, I ain't talking about y'all, right? But anyway, that was Jonesborough, and somewhere along here there was some big water park that they built, and then somebody got sick, or the water was contaminated or something because they weren't keeping up to standards. And then there was talk about shutting it down, and I don't know if they did or not, or if they fixed it. Well, it's still here, Wetlands Water Park. Well, it looks like it's still open, so they must have, whatever the issue was, they must have got it straightened up. Oh, all that stuff up there is all new too. It definitely changed. It's just not as much changes as we're getting over by us. We're getting pretty close to a place where when I stopped driving truck over the road, a guy that I knew from church and stuff was a pretty good guy. He owned and operated several big trucks, and he would haul panty blanks from this plant up here in Greenville. I can't remember off the top of my head. They're like Ball, I think it's called Ball or something, I forget, but Ball Zinc Metals or something. But anyway, they would make penny blanks, and then they would get shipped by his trucks to Greenville, to Knoxville, and we would take them to the rail yard, and then the rail yard would put them on, piggyback them up on the train or whatever, and then they'd get shipped like to the Denver Mint or whatever, and stamped into actual pennies. And I think it costs more to make pennies than it does what the value of a penny's worth. It's stupid how the government operates. And what's really bad is that the train charged so much more. It would have been a lot less expensive to just ship them by big trucks, and it would have employed more people, more owner operators and other drivers that work with them. It would have employed more people, but the train company, the rail yards have contracts with the government because they're considered a necessary thing or an icon in America or whatever. There's some special thing, and so they have to send them a certain amount of stuff through the rail yard. So even though it costs a lot more to make a penny than the value of the penny itself, the government does it just to keep the railroad funded and letting them make billions of dollars off of taxpayers and stuff. It's stupid. I hated the stuff over the road, especially when I started having kids and whatever, so I stopped driving for quite a while because my kids were more important to me than my job, because I could find another job where I could stay home. And then started getting into sales and whatever. I would still drive just because I like to drive big trucks. I would still drive, but it was like for a friend, from a friend once in a while. So if he had extra loads and he couldn't get them done and I was on a day off or something like that, I'd do it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's over there. No. All right. I'll catch y'all later. Bye for now.